Is Age of Revelation the worst X-Men crossover event that they have done in years? On this week's episode of Craft Beer Comics, we are taking a look at the new X-Men Age of Revelation Overture volume. This includes the Amazing X-Men, Binary, Cloak or Dagger, Iron and Frost, and Laura Kinney Sabretooth by Jed MacKay, Stephanie Phillips, and a whole range of other artists and writers. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it possibly one of the most disappointing X-Men events in recent history? You're going to have to listen and find out, but this week we are pairing it with something that's a little bit familiar, a little bit punchy, and perfect for summer. Welcome to Craft Beer Comics. So, welcome back, gifted youngsters and Brotherhood of Evil Brewers, to another episode of Craft Beer Comics. I am your host, Harry, and this week we're taking a look at X-Men Age of Revelation, the Overture volume. So, they did release this in single issues. This is one of the first X-Men crossover event things since the From the Ashes reboot after the fall of Krakoa. You obviously had like X-Manhunt and Raid on Grey Malkin, which were fine, but they were, compared to this, fairly small and self-contained, usually just sort of dabbling between Uncanny X-Men and the X-Men main sort of lines. So let's just get straight into it, I think. So the setup with Age of Revelation is at the end of the Krakoa storyline, which finished a couple of years ago now at this point. Doug Ramsey, the X-Men known as Cypher, gets chosen by Apocalypse to be his disciple, I guess. Apocalypse buggers off to Mars or Araco. I don't really know. I didn't really follow it that far, if I'm being totally honest. And Doug is left to oversee the success of mutant kind on planet Earth. Now, in the main X-Men comics being written by Jed MacKay at the moment, I think it's at the end of volume 3, Doug Ramsey and his little crew of merry men arrive at the X-Men's headquarters, and suddenly Cyclops has like a little seizure, straight into Age of Revelation. Basic premise is, it's like 10 years in the future or something. Doug Ramsey has gone on a nutty one. He's gone full apocalypse and more. A virus of some description has been let loose on America, and normal humans are either turning into mutants or dying. Full stop. That's it. There are parts of America which are completely unlivable for human beings, but perfect for mutants. So Doug's taken those spaces as mutant safe havens, I guess. It's Krakoa-esque in the sense of humans can't be there or shouldn't be there sort of thing. And Doug Ramsey is kind of ruling the world with a bit of an iron fist. He's got his disciples which go out and enact his will. Anyone who's speaking up against him is executed or I can't remember the term they use, like muted or something. So he makes them forget their ability to communicate, which is pretty gnarly, to be honest. There are a small group of sort of X-Men left who are trying to fight back against him, and that includes Cyclops, Beast, Magneto. Who else is on the roster there? Yep. So it looks like you got Ford, you got Zorn, you got Magneto, Cyclops, Beast, and then two of the new ones whose names I've forgotten. Oh, it's Schwarzschild and I don't know, the woman that can like adapt to shit. She's there too. Wolverine has been taken over by Doug Ramsey, and everything's kind of gone a tits up. Now, the premise sounded great to me. I was really, really, really looking forward to this one. I'm a big fan of Cypher, and I think his part in the Krakoa storyline was amazing. And it's nice to have a character which doesn't have like flashy powers like Cyclops or Phoenix, have almost the same weight in the comic as those other characters. So I was really excited to see what they did with it, and I liked the idea that he's a disciple and he's mixing stuff up in the future, and he's gone a little bit crazy. So this was something that was on my list for a long time. I had it on pre-order, and me personally, I was extremely disappointed in it. Really, really let down. Now, the reason why I was disappointed, I think, was that the number one issue was that you get X-Men Age of Revelation issue 0. X-Men Age of Revelation Overture, Amazing X-Men issues 1 to 3, and then 1 to 3 for Binary, Cloak or Dagger, Iron and Frost, and Laura Kinney Sabretooth. There's no conclusion here. There's no conclusion to what happens. You sort of follow the main storyline through the Amazing X-Men, or at least in this issue, this volume even. You follow the Amazing X-Men through the main storyline, not really seeing any side paths. Visiting the main story, no side quests. And when you get to issue 3, it just says, see Book of Revelation 3, then witness the final showdown in the X-Men Age of Revelation finale, which I'm presuming is in another volume. And this may be my fault, because I didn't check which issues were in these volumes, but Marvel have done the thing where you've got 3/4 of the story in one volume, and then the remaining quarter in one of the other 2 volumes that are part of this Age of Revelation series. They instead decide to flesh out this Overture volume with, like Binary, Cloak and Dagger, Iron, Frost, and Sabretooth. And let me finish with the negatives, and then I'll go on to the positives. Me personally, I did not care about any of these other stories, to be quite honest. It's difficult. I like the characters. I like Phoenix. I like Captain Marvel, Cloak and Dagger. Kind of cool. I don't know a lot about them, but cool. Emma Frost, one of my favourite X-Men. Laura Kinney deciding to become Sabretooth. It's all intriguing potential futures. But the dialogue's kind of clunky. The stakes don't really seem to matter. It's just a continuous thing of, let's try and kill Doug Ramsey. We failed. Oopsie daisy. There's not really any... I don't think there's enough time to get emotionally invested really in any of these stories. Like, they're all a little bit tragic in some description. Especially the Iron and Frost one, to be honest. That one, I'd say out of those couple that are added on to the Amazing X-Men in this volume, Iron and Frost was very good. Binary, didn't really care. It just sort of turned Captain Marvel into a bit of a wuss, to be honest. Cloak or Dagger was a bit of a weird one, and clearly inspired by Marvel Rivals, in the sense of they now share a body and have to switch places, which they never did before as far as I'm aware, until Marvel Rivals, but that's Marvel for you in general, being led by other media. And then the Sabretooth story, I just don't care. Nothing in it made me care. And I don't necessarily think that's all the writer's fault. I think it's sort of like an inherent issue with these storylines which are based in potential futures. I think other timelines is different, because that's completely fresh. That's what happens in that timeline. You leave it over there, you do the story you want to do, there's no implications, bish bash bosh, have fun. With stories where it's a potential future, especially when your past consciousness has been sent to the future and your future's been sent to the past, you know it's going to change, because that's just what happens in these stories. So anything that's happening in these Age of Revelation books, whilst it's entertaining for an afternoon read, I guess, you know it's not really going to play out like that, because most of the time the heroes always win, or they'll do something to change things up, and the future, which you know from the Revelation book, it might be similar, but it won't be the same. So anything that happens in Age of Revelation, you're sort of it's most likely not going to happen anyway, so what's the real stakes here? And the stakes would be that you are invested in these future variants, I guess. But with only 3 issues, there's really not a lot the writers can do with it, to be quite honest. And this is more of an issue with Marvel. I think they weren't too happy with how the X-Men line was going, maybe, and wanted to give it a little va-va-voom. and they thought, oh yeah, we'll do a 3-issue potential future crossover event and see how that goes. And it's mediocre at best, in my opinion. What's so unusual about the From the Ashes reboot is obviously the Krakoa era ended, which for a lot of people, and to be honest, including myself, was one of the golden ages of X-Men. I could not put those books down. Immortal X-Men, I binged. The main X-Men line, binged. Loved it. Loved every single volume. Didn't miss. I mean, obviously that ended for whatever reason, and From the Ashes reboots the X-Men, and things are a little bit different, trying to find their way in the world. You've got like solo series coming out. You had Magic. I feel like you had Danny Moonstar. You obviously had Psylocke, Mystique. And then recently they've done Rogue, Cyclops, Bishop's just got one. All great stuff. It's nice to see the solo heroes getting more stuff and the lesser heroes getting more stuff in. There's X Factor, Phoenix got her own thing, X-Force obviously, and then Uncanny X-Men and just X-Men. And those stories are fine. To be honest, I don't necessarily think at the moment there's anything particularly special about them. I read and finished X Factor. I'm going to sell them, so that tells you what you need to know about that. Phoenix, I really enjoyed Phoenix. I'm keeping those are great. Uncanny X-Men I did sell. It just wasn't my type of thing. I like Gail Simone. I like what she's doing with it, but it's just not. I think I got so hooked on like the political and kind of dark side of X-Men in the Krakoa era that this light, friendly, we're taking on new mutants and we're going to raise them up as a family. I don't really care about family right now, but I'm sure other people do, and that is great. But the main X-Men stories being done by Jed MacKay, they're alright. He really nails Cyclops, which I love. Really like his Cyclops. But those stories, whilst they may be a bit like, they are more entertaining than Age of Revelation, unfortunately. It's just not, it just doesn't hit anything for me, personally, which is really quite a shame. But yeah, like I said, you give writers 3 issues. There's only so much they can do with that. Issues aren't big at all. The artwork is good, to be honest. The Amazing X-Men artwork it's great. It's great. It's X-Men. It's timeless, you know. It looks great. It's a little bit cartoony. It's fun. It's good. Yeah. Binary, issues 1 to 3. The art is, again, really good. I'd say where the art really strives is in the colour palettes they use. It's great. It's very Green Lantern-esque in the sense of they really lean into the bright, vibrant colours. Cloak or Dagger, to be honest, story, boring, art. Whilst the art is good, and obviously I could never draw like that, there are only a few panels where I was like, yeah, that looks really cool. And that's mostly with Cloak. Dagger doesn't really do a lot for me in this. Iron and Frost. Story, they try to do as much as they can with 3 issues. The art's good. Art's fine. But yet again, nothing too special about it. And then Sabretooth. This is probably the one. No, I didn't like it the least, but it's down there. It's fine. It's alright. And then at the back of it, you've got some nice little sketches of characters. Weirdly, a lot of these characters don't actually appear in this volume. Like Kidman thing, Fearless, Fantastica, Magni. This Wolverine fella, he doesn't appear in it. Um, so that's, I don't know. I don't know if they're like, ooh, look at these sketches of other people. Wouldn't you like to find out who they are in our other volumes that cost £20 to £30? I don't know, but you've got the variant covers in the back, and there were some really nice variants for this, to be fair. Some really good ones for Binary, some really good ones for Amazing X-Men. Cloak or Dagger, pretty boring, to be honest. Iron and Frost, nothing too exciting there. And then Sabretooth variants, nothing too thrilling, to be honest. And the whole reason behind... Sorry, going back to the Sabretooth comic, the whole reason behind her becoming Sabretooth as well is just kind of... You know, it's fine, I guess. Would I read the other ones? I think if I got them in the sale for like half price or less, yeah, I'd pick them up, read them, and then probably sell them again. I don't know, if you're a super die-hard X-Men fan, you might really enjoy it. Obviously, I've read how it ends, and it's fine. But yeah, again, it comes back to this whole, it's a possible future, which will probably not come to be. So, you know, doesn't really fucking matter. But yeah, that's it. Art in general, this is for the whole volume, and I know there are multiple artists, and they all bring something different. Art, it's a 7. I'm giving it an IGN 7. It's fine. It's good. The story is really hard to critique because, like I said, there's ones I really liked and ones that were just kind of So I'll rate them individually. Amazing X-Men 1 to 3. I'm gonna give it an 8. It was entertaining. There were things going on. There are members of the team that die, but they die. They kind of die so quick. You don't have time to realise, number one, who's died, and number two, if they actually brought anything to this story in the first place. Binary, I'm giving it 3. It was poor, to be honest. It's a lot of Captain Marvel moping around because people don't like her, I guess. And I guess it's a commentary on how people kind of behaved in COVID. I'm not going to spoil anything beyond that, but that's kind of the feeling I'm getting from it. Cloak or Dagger, I'm giving it a 2. A 2 out of 10. I really did not enjoy Cloak or Dagger. I just did not care. And the whole gimmick of, one of us can only be in the same place at a time sort of thing is... I just don't care, to be honest. And you haven't made me care. So, sorry. Not great. Iron and Frost. I'm going to give it a 5. I'm a little bit biased because it's got Emma Frost. But the overall story of that's kind of cool. I feel like there may be some plot holes in it. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know how the, body of Emma Frost works. If you read it, you'll understand. And then Laura Kinney Sabretooth, that's a 3. That's just a 3. I just don't care. It sounds really mean. And I don't think that I could do a better job, to be perfectly honest. But I'm not a writer. I haven't been given Sabretooth, and I haven't been told you've got to make a really, really good story in 3 issues for a potential future that probably won't happen. If that was my brief, would I care that much about it? It's for a paycheck, so I probably would, but it's a tough break. If you want to, you get told, you're going to be writing an X-Men story. Oh, wow, exciting, There's a whole range of characters I can use, all the things I can do. You get told, this is the storyline we're doing with Doug Ramsey. Okay, yeah. Okay, I can get behind that. Yeah. And the X-Men you can use is really limited, and your main X-Men has to be Laura Kinney. Okay, well, I could work with that. Oh, and by the way, she's Sabretooth now. Oh. Okay, well, fuck. Do you know what I mean? Like, I couldn't do any better, and to be honest, neither could whoever wrote this one. It's a tough break. It's a really tough break, and I think they did the best with what they had, but I just didn't give a fuck. So, yeah. Like I said, if you're a die-hard fan, you might like it. I didn't. And that's that, unfortunately. So the first negative review of the podcast. And it's X-Men. What a shame. But moving on to something a bit more lively, something a bit more exciting, we're moving on to the beer. So I wanted to choose something that's nice and easy. You know, you want something that isn't gonna, knock your socks off too much. X-Men, I grew up with X-Men. A lot of kids did. Loved the 90s cartoon. I was addicted to it as a kid. So I wanted something that's like a little bit familiar, a little bit easy. It's getting hot here in the UK, so something refreshing. So this week, I've gone with Beavertown as the brewer. And I know this is a bit of a touchy one. They're getting kind of mainstream now. You can go to any pub and they've probably got a Beavertown as that maintenance craft. I don't really know, to be honest. But this is the beer you're getting this week, so suck it up. It is Beavertown's Cosmic Drop Tropical Lager. Now this is it's very light. It's slightly fizzy. It's tropical. It's very, very, very tasty. Major flavours are pineapple and passion fruit. So if you like those things, they're really great, but you get sort of some other summery flavours coming through. Allergens for this are pretty much nothing. It's got malted wheat, malted oats, dextrin, whatever the hell that is, and it's gluten-free. So that's pretty good. It's nice. It's easy. It's still a little bit different though. And extremely refreshing. I actually had this for the first time at Wingfest in Nottingham a couple of weeks ago. I was a little bit sceptical of it, and it's kind of weird. It's got this weird fizz to it that I haven't really experienced with other beers. I know that sounds weird because it's only like a fizz, but it's like a tang and a fizz together. I know that sounds absolutely ridiculous, but it's really unusual. You sort of get the sensation first, and then you get the flavour. And the flavour's immediate with this one. It's not like I'm sipping it, it just tastes like beer, and then you get like a pineapple fart in your mouth. It's not like that. You get the flavours straight away. It's great. It's really, really nice. Like I said, very nice, very refreshing, very easy. You can pick this up in, I think, probably most major supermarkets. They sell it as big can, or they sell it in, I believe it's an 8-can box. That's quite common. And that's that. There's not a great deal to say about this one. It'll get a 7.5. This is the first 0.5 of the series. We're doing a lot of firsts in this episode. 7.5. There's nothing hugely exotic about it, I guess, apart from the flavours, which are pineapple and passion fruit. You can get quite a lot of pineapple or passion fruit or grapefruity flavoured things. I think what makes this one a bit more exciting is it's got that weird fizz to it. So if you like fizz, this is great. If you don't like fizz, just don't bother. Or let it go flat. Let it go really flat. So yeah, Beavertown, Cosmic Drop, Tropical Flavour, Lager with Tropical Fruits, 7.5. So that's it for this episode. A rather disappointing X-Men volume with X-Men Age of Revelation Overture. Really excited for it. Didn't live up to the hype, unfortunately for me. The beer this week does. It's nice, it's easy. It's a Cosmic Drop Tropical Beavertown Lager with tropical fruit at 4%. Nice, easy, fairly cheap, 7.5 out of 10. If you enjoyed this episode, please remember to subscribe, like, share. It's really helpful. We're just starting out here. So we're starting completely from scratch, which is extremely difficult. This isn't backed by any big secret organisations. I don't have any Stephen Bartlett characters secretly funding this. It's all me. It's just me. So any shares, any likes would be absolutely fantastic. If there are any comics you want me to read, any beers you want me to try, leave a little comment down below, whether that's on Spotify or YouTube, and I'll take a look and get back to you. Thank you for listening. I've been your host, Harry. This has been another episode of Craft Beer Comics. We'll see you next time.